When Paradise Lost guitarist Greg McIntosh put to rest his Valenfire side project in 2018, he closed a difficult but ultimately cathartic period in his life. Created as a tribute to his father John, who passed away in 2009, Valenfire originally served as a sounding board for Greg's grief, but then delved into his nihilistic take on the world. Valenfire's brief existence was intentional. The band always knew they could go no further than 3 studio albums that bore their name. A mere few days after Valenfire played its last live show in September 2018, McIntosh announced the formation of a brand new band, Strigoi. Named after the troubled spirits in Romanian mythology, who could rise from the grave and assume an entirely different form, Strigoi's lineup is rounded out by former Extreme Noise Terror and Valenfire bass player Chris Casket. Paradise Lost drummer Walteri Vairanian provided studio drums but will not be a full-time member. Recorded as Black Planet Studio between January and March 2019, the resultant 12-song Abandon All Faith debut finds McIntosh culling from his love of old-school death metal, grindcore and punk for a visceral but cinematic offering of extreme metal. Abandon All Hope will be released on November 22nd, 2019 via Nuclear Blast. How do you differentiate between two bands that have the same heavy intent, the same focused and inescapable savagery? When you're Greg McIntosh, the answer comes from refinement. When Strigoi, he shows just where his new band is heading, while not moving much from his roots. Yes, Abandon All Faith is every bit an extreme metal album, a 12-track beast built on a bedrock of chaos and noise. However, the word cinematic comes up a fair bit. And that's because what we have here is an album that takes the word extreme and gives it some much needed welcome flair and pizzazz, in a way that doesn't distract or take away from the unrelenting heaviness of it all. The album begins so strongly, phantoms, guitars and drums ringing loud and true as a wall of inescapable noise washes over. With the arrival of Greg's scathing vocals, it descends into chaos, every so often emerging with a haunting guitar tone, before sending us back under for even more choking blackness. Short and much more punk-infused, albeit on the heavier side of things, Nocturnal Vermin comes next, before Seven Crowns swings and hits so damn hard. Heavy doesn't do this justice, as there's a hell of a lot more going on. A drum beat with some heft behind it, McIntosh growling and gurgling away, all while the guitars screech and wail. It's another short, grinding stab wound with Throne of Disgrace to be followed up by one of the best tracks on the album. Carved into the skin is the example you play when Valenfire fans want to understand what Strigoi are. A spectacle of metal, sinking into the mire like no other. However, the more thought-out guitar rhythm gives it this edge that just makes it sound so huge, so cinematic. Then we have McIntosh's vocals, always deep and unforgiving. He's at his growling best here. A sickeningly slow track. It is mind-melting in its purpose and utterly unforgettable. How do you follow that? By turning up the fury and strive for parasite and iniquitous rage. Although with a title like the latter, that is pretty much expected. What isn't is just how damn good the tempo is. With every new track, Strigoi continue to amaze. It's not just that it's deep and dark metal, but rather that it's varied and layered. The more Abandon All Faith goes on, the more down the rabbit hole of horror we plunge. As the pointed and sharp riffs of Plague Nation makes its mark, it's followed up by the daring rhythmic noise of Enemies of God, a track that could almost be called catchy by Strigoi's standards. But all good things must end though. That is the inevitability of great music. Scorn of the Father and the title track ensuring it's with a bang and not a whimper. The former a chaotic and beastly effort that sees Strigoi throw their all into doing permanent damage to the hearing, while the latter is a classy effort that is bleaker and blacker than most will think possible. It proves once and for all that Valenfire this ain't. This is Strigoi, and you'd be a fool to pass Abandon All Faith by. It's out on November 22nd, 2019 via Nuclear Blast. Make sure you check it out. Let us know what you think in the comments. Thank you for watching and hit that like and subscribe button.